How's it going, guys? Matt here, and we're going to give you some predictions for E3, the coming E3 in a couple of weeks' time. All of your major development studios, all of your games console developers, publishers, everything that we expect to be there, all the rumours, surprise reveals, everything you need to know coming up to the biggest conference in the world and what's going on in the rest of the year, basically, with the video gaming industry. Before we get into this, I just want to say thank you for all the support so far on the channel. All the likes, subscribes, comments, keep them coming, and let's get into this. So first up, we are going to talk about EA. Now, what do we really expect from EA this year? They kind of gave us a load of information about where some of their development studios are going, BioWare in particular. Obviously, Mass Effect Andromeda didn't do too great on expectation. I've heard it was handled by a different development studio, but now they're working on this new game called Anthem, which they dropped a gameplay video for last year at E3. Didn't give away too much, but they're going to I feel like they're going to have that like riding home this year as like a major talking point going forward. What is that game going to be? What's it going to be about? It looks pretty crazy. Flying jumpsuits, mech suits, flying through the jungle. Can't wait to see what that one gives us in a future gameplay video or anything like that. Will they talk about Star Wars Battlefront? I'm probably thinking no. Seeing as the amount of backlash they've been getting over the previous two games now, they're probably going to drop that game like a bad habit and focus on future IP, future games. I think they're just going to drop that one completely. Of course, they're going to give us a bit of FIFA gameplay. FIFA 19 will probably be out sometime in September, October time, like it is every single year. Nothing new there. That's pretty run-of-the-mill stuff at EA now. Maybe some more sport titles, maybe a new like NBA. Although NBA don't really cover it anymore, do they? NBA says 2K now, so NHL maybe, a Madden game, stuff like that. Now the big surprise I think so far for EA, well, not surprise, it's been leaking the last week or so, but I think we're finally going to see something on Battlefield 5. It's been a couple years now since Battlefield 1 came out, so I guess they've probably been focusing hard on Battlefield 5. I'm not really sure where the setting is going to be. I haven't really looked too much into it, but from what I can see, it looks like it's another kind of retro style game. So maybe like a kind of World War kind of type thing. Probably just building on the mechanics of Battlefield 1 and what made it so successful. Had a really good multiplayer campaign. Had a really good campaign itself. Was really good. So hopefully Battlefield 5 can give us some good information there, and if they're running it on the Xbox One X, I'm sure it will look absolutely incredible. Battlefield 1 looked amazing on previous consoles anyway, so I think an Xbox One X console showing for Battlefield 5 would be incredible. So if we're going to go on to the next one now, I guess we have to go on to one of the big ones, Microsoft. What do they have in store for us with the Xbox One X? I think this could potentially be a make or break year for Microsoft in terms of what they unveil and what they don't unveil. I think it's a given that we're going to see something on Forza Horizon 4. That's probably our only dead cert in terms of what we're definitely going to see in the conference. But there is so much scope here for surprise. I think we're eventually going to see something on Crackdown 3. This game has been running around for years and years now, and eventually I think we're going to get some solid information, potentially even a release date. Are we going to see more on backwards compatibility? I think so. Seems to be a major plus point of the Xbox community. I just wish they would throw some more games in there. As long as I get Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York, couldn't care about the rest. But no, shout out to Microsoft for what they're doing with the backwards compatibility. Will we see Halo 6? Probably not. However, it's been building up recently in the last week or so that we're finally going to get to see Master Chief on the Xbox One X. I'm not so sure about it myself. I'd love to see a Halo 6 to complete the new trilogy. Halo 4 was a bit of a disappointment. Halo 5 wasn't too bad. It had a pretty good multiplayer though, so if we could just jump into Halo 6 and smash it, that would be absolutely incredible. Gears of War 5. I personally really enjoyed Gears of War 4, and I would absolutely love for them to carry on the trilogy. The new set of characters were incredible. The new world that they set the game in. Yeah, Gears of War 4 was awesome, so I'd quite like to see something with Gears of War 5. We're going to see all kinds of other stuff as well. They're probably going to show off that new peripheral that they unveiled in the last few days to help non-able people play video games. I think it's a full community thing. Everyone should be entitled to play whatever they want. No one should be hindered or burdened when playing a video game. So that's my 2 cents on that one. But yeah, this is 2018 E3 is the chance that Microsoft can really jump in there, get a foothold on the community. So yeah, I'm sure Xbox they'll be absolutely fine. Microsoft will kill it. I'm looking forward to the conference. So yeah, I'll see. I think it's going to be quite interesting, but I'm sure they'll nail it. Now, next up we have the much anticipated conference from Bethesda. Now, they've been doing this for a few years now, ever since they unveiled Fallout 5 a few years ago. Sorry, not Fallout 5, what am I talking about? Fallout 4 a few years ago. We're not there yet. We're not there with Fallout 5 just yet, but I don't think that's far away either, if I'm honest. We'll probably hear about that in the next couple of years. But anyway, this year I'm pretty sure we're going to see some solid gameplay and everything you need to know about Rage 2, seeing as they just announced that like a week ago. But I also feel like they've done that for a reason. They've basically unveiled the game prior to the conference because they have something else up their sleeve. It wouldn't be Bethesda if they didn't tell us something about a previous IP that maybe they're releasing a new title for. I'll let that stew with you, but don't be surprised if it's Elder Scrolls. I'm not saying it's going to be an Elder Scrolls 6, but that would be awesome. Or maybe even a Doom 2. Who knows? You never know with Bethesda. I think it's going to be a kick-ass conference either way. But let's talk about the prospect of Rage 2. Did you like the previous game? I feel like it didn't really need a sequel. The first game was a bit of a letdown. I mean, the thing got released on 3 discs. It had painfully long loading screens. The game itself, the premise was awesome. It had like a bit of a Rage... like a Mad Max kind of Borderlands vibe about it. I really enjoyed like the idea of the game and the different levels and the different worlds you could visit. Graphically, the game was stunning for the time that it was out. I feel like Rage 2 will raise the bar again with that one. It will look great, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, stylistically and aesthetically, the game looks great so far, judging by the trailers and the gameplay, so I'm sure it'll be absolutely fantastic. We're probably going to see a little bit more on Fallout, whether that's some information on Fallout 4. It probably will be, talking about that new Miami mod. Maybe some more DLC coming for that as well. The game is about 3 years old, but they're just going to keep plugging away at that one because obviously it's been a big hit for them, even though in my opinion it wasn't as good as Fallout 3. Yeah, they're just going to keep going for it because it was a big success for the developer. So yeah, I would say that's pretty much nailed on with what's going on with Bethesda. Probably some partnerships with some other subsidiary companies making games and things like that. But in terms of Bethesda, I think it'll be solid. And yeah, on to the next one. Square Enix. What can we expect from these guys? Recently, in the last few years, they've been making a huge comeback with some incredible titles, working on the new reboot to Tomb Raider, which I thought the first game was awesome. Rise of the Tomb Raider was incredible as well, and judging by the opening poster and everything they've been talking about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I'm kind of guessing that game is going to be incredible. Can't wait to finish off the trilogy with that one. Are we going to see anything on Just Cause? Now, there's a lot of talk going around that Just Cause 4 will be announced at E3 this year. Just Cause 3 was great, it was good fun. I felt like I was parachuting everywhere with that game. Seemed like it'd be a big feature. If they could keep it more grounded in Just Cause 4, would be incredible. Enjoy kind of like the arcadey kind of vibe of that game as well. I feel like they could go a long way with Just Cause 4. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one. I think we might finally get some information about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, the game is over 20 years old now, and 3 years ago they announced... Sorry, or was it 4 years ago? Might have been even 4 years ago they announced this game. And then in the last year or so they said it's going to be episodic content. It's not just going to be a solid game, they're just going to drop it in sections. I'm not sure if that's the way to go to keep people engaged, fully. But I feel like we might finally get some more solid information in terms of where that game is, where it's heading, and where we're going to go from there. But I feel like I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to see it this generation. Sadly, I do think it's going to be a next-gen game, so you're probably looking at something like 2020, maybe even 2021 for a release date. They're saying 2023, which sounds absolutely ridiculous, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. I mean, we know how The Last Guardian worked out. So that's pretty much all I'm hearing from the Square Enix side of things, but I think that they'll centerpiece the whole thing around Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now, we've come to a conference that is, for sure, highly anticipated. We have the Ubisoft conference. Now, last year it was a surprise conference. It was probably one of the best ones of the year, where they but they kind of introduced Beyond Good and Evil 2, Mario Rabbids, the new Assassin's Creed Origins, all the rest of it. It was absolutely incredible. Now, this year could go one better. I think we're going to see a bit more information about Beyond Good and Evil 2. We saw the pre-alpha footage a couple weeks back. Looks quite interesting. I feel like it's quite an intricate world. It could take a while for this game to be developed and put out there, but at least it's a thing. I'm so happy about that for one of the best games of a few generations ago. Division 2. Now, I actually quite like Division 1. I feel like the setting was a little bit bland, but the idea of the game was fantastic. The gameplay was fantastic, the upgrading and everything like that, and once you got into it, it was hard to put down. So anything on Division 2 will be absolutely fantastic. I think we're finally going to see a bit more information on The Crew 2 shortly before it's released. Just some polish basically on that game, not really too much to say about that one. I think we're going to finally see something about Skull and Bones, the pirate game. So this game was basically developed by the same team that made Assassin's Creed Black Flag, so it's no surprise that they jumped in and did like a pirate kind of crusade kind of game, kind of like a rival, I'm guessing, to Sea of Thieves, but probably less cartoony, less arcadey. We're not going to see Assassin's Creed this year, I don't think. I think they've kind of gone back to like a 2-year cycle with developing their games. We're not going to see one every single year. They kind of realised that they were saturating the market a bit and it was just kind of getting a bit stale, so they had to kind of take a year back, refresh the franchise a little bit. Origins was fantastic, really enjoyed that game, so it'll be interesting to see where they go with next on that one. I think they might just continue the Bayek story from Assassin's Creed Origins and just build a new story arc. I think finally with Ubisoft, we're finally going to see the re-emergence of Splinter Cell. It would be so great to see a new Splinter Cell game, especially after the cameo in Ghost Recon's Wildlands. It would be so good to see a new Splinter Cell game. I really enjoyed all the previous ones. I think my favourite one is still Chaos Theory, but they're all awesome, and it'd be so good to see another Splinter Cell again. So I reckon this year Ubisoft could absolutely kill it, and maybe they might even drop a new IP, who knows. But it's always a really good conference to watch, and especially after last year, the hype is real for sure on this one. Now for the most anticipated conference of the whole of E3, the most anticipated from my side of things is definitely for Sony. Now, it's kind of no secret at this point that they've absolutely killed this generation. They've done so incredibly well, like all the previous E3s, and this year will be no different. I think finally we're going to get something about Death Stranding. Maybe a bit of gameplay, probably not, but I still don't think that's a PS4 game. I think it's a PS5 game. I think you're looking at 2020 as the earliest of that game release. Ghost of Tsushima, we're finally going to get something about that game. It's kind of been floating around for a while now. I think we're going to get some solid information about that game and see what those guys are up to. Are we going to get a second Bloodborne game? There's a lot of talk that the developers are going to be coming down to drop a potential trailer for a Bloodborne 2. Are they going to keep it kind of Bloodborne-esque? Are they even going to go down that Souls route at all? Or is it going to be a fresh title altogether? But my betting is it will be a Bloodborne 2. We've seen information about a Spyro remake. They're remaking the original trilogy, so we're going to get some gameplay for that, I hope. I think we're also going to get a Medieval remake trailer as well. PlayStation seem to be incredible at bringing back these amazing titles from, bygone eras, PS1, so I think Medieval would be a good route to go down. Devil May Cry 5? Maybe not. There's a lot of talk that potentially a Devil May Cry game could be coming. Devil May Cry 4 was awesome. Even the DMC kind of origin story was really cool too. So I think Devil May Cry 5 would be a killer title. I think we're going to see a bit more gameplay from Spider-Man, seeing as that game is coming in September. I think, potentially that game could be an incredible game, and it's just coming just before Call of Duty and Red Dead Redemption, so it's going to be probably the biggest title in September. But last but not least, let's be honest, guys, we're all here for The Last of Us Part 2. Now, that is probably the most anticipated game of next year, or 2020, or whenever it's released. I think it's a 2019 game. I think we'll get a bit of gameplay from Naughty Dog. I also think potentially we could get a loose release date, maybe Q2 or Q3 of 2019. I think Last of Us 2 will be the bookend title for the PS4 before we roll on to the PS5. I think it could be an absolutely classic game, and I can't wait to see what the story has for us, especially as the two trailers that we've seen since it was first released or first announced a year and a half ago at PSX. So I feel like E3 2018 could definitely be a watershed moment for The Last of Us Part 2. Now, last but not least, we have the originators, Nintendo. There's a potential that Nintendo could fall off a little bit, considering they've had such a strong couple of first years with the Switch, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they've got plenty of tricks up their sleeve. We're definitely going to see some information on Super Smash Bros. That is for sure. Since it was announced, there's no way that game is not going to be a hit, considering the success of Super Mario Odyssey. We're also going to see some more on Metroid Prime 4 for sure. People have been waiting for that now, so that's definitely going to be a big hit. Pokemon Switch. Are we going to see a full RPG open world Pokemon game? Everyone's been waiting for that for what seems like forever now, so I feel like on the Switch that could be incredible. Whether it'll be developed by the same people that did Pokemon Go, I don't know, probably not. But just give it to someone, that game needs a proper treatment. We're going to get some information on Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 2 was amazing. I'm telling you now, if you haven't played Bayonetta 2, that game was absolutely incredible. You need to go back and play it. So Bayonetta 3 will be a massive hit for the Switch. It will be Switch exclusive as well, so Nintendo can curate that and do whatever they want with it, make it their own. We're going to get a standalone Yoshi game. This was announced not too long ago, a few months back now, but ever since it's been pretty quiet, so don't be surprised if we see something on our furry little green dragon friend. Everyone loves Yoshi. He's my favourite character, so I'm super excited to see a Yoshi standalone game. And finally, they're going to delve into their online service. I mean, it's only 2 years late, Nintendo, come on, but we're finally going to get an online service for the Switch. I think it's only going to be adaptable for your phone, but they'll delve into it, I'm sure, and we'll get a bit more information about the online service for the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, that is 7 conferences I've covered there. Hope you enjoyed everything, all the predictions, all the rumours, everything that you're thinking about E3. Let me know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen at E3 this year. It's bound to be an incredible show, just like it was last year. Again, thank you so much for all the support. Share this with your friends, tell all your mates. We're going to try and build a community here. Subscribe, like, do what you need to do, guys, but all support is massively appreciated, and I hope you're looking forward to E3 just like I am, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Alright, see you later. Bye.